The reality that we live in is controlled by laws. And one of the laws that controls this reality is called causality, cause and effect. Christians call it sowing and reaping. Hindus call it karma. And in science, it is the law of inertia. And it says that there is an equal and opposite reaction after every action. All things have consequences. Nobody can escape it. It is a law. And the nature of those consequences, which is what I want to talk about today, is that the consequences are always intra-dimensional. What that means is that consequences of actions will always happen in the same dimension as the action. If it is a physical action, it will have physical consequences. If it is a mental action, it will have mental consequences. If it is spiritual, it will have spiritual consequences. Let me illustrate with something simple. Let's assume I give you a slap. You will feel the pain of my slap in your cheek. But if you start to think about the slap and how unfair it was for me to slap you, you will begin to feel bad, sadness, and sorrow. Now the pain on your cheek was caused by me because I slapped you. But the sadness and the emotional trauma you are going through is because of your thoughts. You could easily walk away, but because you began to think of it, you got emotional pain. So my physical slap caused the pain, your own thoughts caused the emotional trauma. And so actions must have consequences, and they will happen in the same dimension as the action. I'm saying this because in our religious environments, we are so caught up with physical actions. There is little regard for mental action. Christ spoke about this in his day, but they did not understand him. He said, the law said, thou shalt not kill, but if you hate your brother, then you are a murderer. He said, thou shalt not commit adultery, but if you look at someone you're not supposed to look at in a lustful way, you're guilty already. Now, Christ did not say these things because he wanted to bring guilt upon the people. He said it to illustrate the need for salvation. There are people who believe they have self-control, and it is good to have self-control. But the fact that you have not done it physically does not mean you are not guilty of it if you have thought about it. So all men need grace and mercy. But the most important thing I want to say here is that physical actions have physical consequences, and that's bad enough. But mental actions have eternal consequences. Your physical acts will not go beyond your lifetime. Everything you did physically will end here. But the things that you have been thinking about will live on after you. The things that people go through in where we call heaven or hell is not about the things they did, but the things they thought. Because it is your mental action that will still be there when your body has died. And so we should not be so caught up with physical life and leave behind our mental health. Heaven or hell is not about what you do, it is about what you think.